Hi fam.
Hello everyone.
You are most welcome to our channel. Yes, where we inspire you to live intentionally. So Tosin and I are here today to discuss something very, very important. And
Yes.
this is it. We want to know if it is better to raise children in your home country. Now, in this case, in Nigeria. Is it better to raise children in Nigeria or abroad? Because I actually came across this topic somewhere and people were arguing over it. Oh, it is better to raise them abroad, it is better to raise them in Nigeria. There were divided opinions, divided perspectives, and things like that. So, Tosin, I'd like to ask you, do you think it is better to raise children in Nigeria? I think you have raised children abroad before.
Yes, I am.
And then in Nigeria as well. So which one do you think is better?
I think it also with individual differences. And you're talking about abroad. I'm sure you're talking about the Western world.
Yes, the Western world, like the UK. Is better to raise them in the UK, the US, Canada, Australia.
Western
all those
world,
big Western countries.
Well, for me, I think it has to do with individual differences and also has to do with circumstances and situation you find yourself as a parent. Okay. But talking about raising children, I don't think there is a perfect environment to raise a child. You can raise a child anywhere. It's basically about the parenting style and how much, as a parent, you are willing to put in raising your child. As a parent, you should know what you want for your child and be intentional about it. So as the child gets older, step by step, you impute into the child what you want, and hopefully, most of the time it works. At the end of the day, your child would be exactly what you want them to be. So talking about the environment.
Yes, I was going to talk about that. But don't you think that the environment can also influence the upbringing of a child? Like, there are some environments that will influence your child, no matter the training that you give to them. The environment is just, there's a default kind of mechanism that works in such an environment that will influence the children.
I agree to that point, that the environment have a great influence on the child. I agree to that. But in the context of this question, in a situation where you have an option, sometimes people don't have an option. They just have to raise a child wherever they are or wherever they found it fit to raise a child. I think as a parent, it has to be parenting still. You just put in the hard work. And then in a situation where you have an option whereby you are in abroad and you feel like sending your kids home is the best option for you. It's a two-sided thing, two-sided coin, and there are pros and cons to it. It's not really totally a bad idea training your child in abroad, and it's also not a totally bad idea training them in Nigeria. So it's not as if it is so bad or so good. This is just if it's an option for you, you can just try it out. What matters most is striking a balance. We're talking about influence. Don't forget we have although we have children raised in abroad who are spoiled, we have some that are not. Not every child raised in abroad is spoiled. Yeah. And the same thing in Nigeria. Not every child that raised in Nigeria is cultured, or really or is respectful. Because the idea is when they're in Nigeria, they will learn how to understand their culture. They will be more respectful. Not every child raised in Nigeria is respectful. So I think it's just about it's a stereotypical point. So if you are looking at it from that angle, if you think about the stereotypical American, you also need to look at the stereotypical part of Nigeria too. So it's a two-way thing, it's a balance. If you raise a child in Nigeria because you want them to be cultured and you don't really do your job as a parent, you still be faulty at the end of the day.
Okay. So yeah, I think I agree with you that depends on your parenting style, depends on the work that you are willing to put into raising that child, whether in Nigeria or abroad, right? Exactly. But then, just like you mentioned, there's this belief that there are some cultures or ways of life,
cultural values.
yes, there are some cultural values or some cultural beliefs abroad that do not align with our own beliefs
In
and values in Africa generally and in Nigeria specifically. So now this is I also want us to look at it this way in the context of Japa. Japa is a reigning thing in Nigeria, right? And it simply means relocation, as in it's a slang that means people are running away, they're escaping, yes, from Nigeria, but it basically means relocation. I know that there are some parents who really want to relocate abroad.
Okay.
But they are also concerned about their children. Probably they've seen that, oh, these children are already tilting towards a side that they don't like. Just to say, maybe they have the tendency to be kind of wayward, to be negatively influenced, and to deviate from the right path, right? So there are some families that battle with these contentions. Should we go? They really want to jackpot, they really want to relocate, but at the same time, they're also worried about the children. We hope that these children will not get abroad and become negatively influenced, and then will now later regret this our decision to relocate. So what should they do in that kind of an instance?
And this has to do with the kind of job you take as an immigrant. Some people, their job does not give them that time that they need to train their kids. They work around the clock. So in that situation, the kids will be left to probably tend for themselves half of the day, and they learn things from their mates, their colleagues at school, their neighbors. So they tend to be easily influenced. And whatever it is this influence might end up being something that negates to your belief as a parent, your upbringing as an African parent. So you need to be very sure that these kids will have everything that they need to guide them. So if you know you don't have what it takes to be an intentional parent in abroad, which is very, very difficult to do for most immigrants, you have to work. You have to pay bills. The husband will work, the wife too has to go to work. Some people, the husband goes to work in the morning, or maybe the wife goes to work in the morning, and then in the evening the wife too is away. So the kids were probably at school during the day, and in the evening they come back home to a tired parent. So there is no time to watch over them, and most people don't have families and relatives to assist them with this parenting. So it is quite a hard work outside the country. That's the truth. So in the angle where it is difficult, and then we have different kind of kids. Some kids are very cooperative. They understand, they can cooperate with you, and some are so stubborn. They want to do it their way. And so in that situation, if you have an option of sending them back home for a while, just to pushing up, you can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I think I also agree with you on that. So the bottom line here is know your child.
Yeah, know your child.
Know the child's temperament. Know what your child is capable of doing. You want to relocate, but at the same time, you know that this child that you are taking abroad, this child is not the type that will cooperate with you. This child is the type that wants to explore and try out different things. So as a parent, maybe you want to hold on for a while, right? It's not a good idea to say, okay, let this child grow to a certain age, maybe, and become more mature.
Yeah, that works. When they get a little bit mature, they understand better, right? And we have some who are not even this jackpot thing, they're already there, but send their children back home
to come and learn.
Yes,
that reminds me, when I was conducting research for, was it my master's or my PhD, I can't remember now. I went to a university in Nigeria, a private university in Nigeria, and I met so many students whose parents actually sent home from abroad to come and do university here.
Yes, they
because
do that a lot.
They saw that. In fact, I remember one particular girl, she was very, very sad. She wasn't happy because her dad tricked her into coming to Nigeria to come and do university. So she still had that anger towards her father. Exactly, that resentment towards her father. But then she said her father did that because over there abroad she was already smoking. She was into all kinds of vices.
Negatively influenced.
Exactly, and that was why the father had to take that tough decision. She was not the only one. I met a couple of them
There
that.
lots of them.
So I think parents really need to be open-minded.
Yes.
Once
I said, it's a two-side thing. You know, so at some point you might feel the need for that child to get some little bit of brushing, like go home, go and learn the language, the culture, and then that's why you have to strike a balance.
Yeah.
You just throw them out of the country like that. Let them have this hope of going back. You know, it's of good use for them to be here, and also there are a lot of advantages too when you raise a child over there too. Just learn to strike a balance. So I don't think it's a bad idea for your child to be in Nigeria, and I also don't think it's totally bad if they are over there. Just strike a balance as a parent.
Good. So strike a balance, be open-minded. Once you see that the child is already going haywire, be open-minded to be able to come to Nigeria when the need arises.
Exactly.
Because just like she said, there are so many opportunities, you know, that the children will be exposed to if they are raised abroad. Definitely, no doubt. And that is what many parents want for their children. They want the best for them, better education, better living conditions, quality of life, and so on. And in Nigeria as well, people want their children to be well cultured, to learn the culture,
to understand things.
Exactly. So there are advantages here, advantages there, disadvantages here, disadvantages there.
So you choose your path.
You choose. And one point that you also made that I want to touch on is to be open as parents. Don't jackpot or relocate, and then you get there, you don't have time for your children.
Yes.
Because the training you give to them, the time, you know, the attention, the love also matters. It's hard work. It's not just about money.
It's not about money.
You don't want to keep going to work from morning till night, make all the money, and then you lose your children in the process.
So, and a lot of people do lose their children in the process because they get so occupied with work, and at the end of the day, they don't even know who their children are anymore.
They don't know.
So, and the environment is a very liberal environment.
Very liberal.
A child the opportunity to express himself, to you know, it's easy for you to know the direction a child is headed over there because the child is free. In Africa, the difference is that although it's not really good, okay, elders they authoritatively tell you what to do. You don't need to ask questions. They don't want you to ask. Just tell you what to do, and you know you are to fit into some predefined pattern of life. So to an extent, it helps you to be conscious of some things. Although there should be a balance too. The child should not be raised like a robot. But at the same time,
there should be that guidance.
In the Nigerian environment, you probably have your parents, your siblings, someone will be checking up on the child. Like there's a bad idea says ojú méjì ló bímọ ìgbà ojú ló ń tọ́. Like there are lots of people who would caution the child. You cannot see a child walk, you know, while you're walking on the street. Why are you doing this? Stop it. Can you come? It happens in Nigeria a lot. Someone will even help you correct your child passively, you know. And the child might be like, someone might see me, mommy might see me coming. But over there,
report me
to my mom or to my grandpa or to my grandma. But over there, it's it's you and your life.
It's a free world.
It's a free world. You can do anything. Everybody, if your neighbor doesn't even care about you. So that's it. I think that's the difference. We have this community, you know.
Community support.
Yeah, community support in terms of parenting, so it helps.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Yes, I think we've touched on some of the major points that we need to touch on. Please share your thoughts with us. Do you think it is better to raise children abroad, or in Nigeria, or in Africa, or in your home country, as the case may be? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, and thank you Tosin for coming on the show with me.
I think all the time at your service.
Yeah. Don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts. Like I said, you can share this video as well. Subscribe to this channel in case you are yet to subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and this is Tosin here with me. On this channel, we inspire you to live intentionally. We'll come your way again, hopefully. Until then, be intentional. Bye. Do you think it is better to raise Nigeria abroad, or to raise Nigeria abroad?
You have to take that again. We should feel about shadow video.
All right.
Let's do that again.
Okay.